to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. And this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, special Thursday edition before the biggest football game of my life. Well, not really, but way up there. This is the chance, Mott, for the New York Jets to make a statement. If you don't have the NFL Network, then go out to a bar tonight and root for my Jets. I'm in New England as we speak. This is being taped a little early. And we have a lovely guest clearly on the show with me. Hopefully, good luck charm. Please note that if we lose today, I will never talk to you again.
Oh.
It's a risk you've got to take. Are you okay with that?
All right.
Why don't you tell the Vayner Nation who you are and how we met and what you're doing here?
Hi, folks. I'm Kat, and I'm from the Let's Knit Together podcast. And Gary and I actually met at New Media Expo back in August of 2008. And
Way back in August of 08.
Yeah, it seems like forever. And I host a show about knitting, which has an audience of about 7,000 knitters across the world in all the countries. And as a matter of fact, there's some crocheters out there too, so I have to have a shout out for some of the crocheters.
Big shout out to the crocheters.
And actually, we've been doing the show for 2 years now, Eric and I, and we got it started as a lark. So we've been doing pretty good since people keep watching.
Now, I'm sorry to jump in. 2 years is pretty long for a video cast.
Yes. Yes.
So you're somewhat of a pioneer.
I think so. I think we kind of started. In fact, when we got started, there was over 80 audio podcasts about knitting, and we were one of the first video podcasts. Mm-hmm. And really, it's audio is great, but if you can't see it, since obviously knitting is a very visual medium.
No
so
question.
We got started with video a couple of years ago. We get about 2 episodes out a month, and
2 a month.
Yeah, we do two different kinds of shows. We do demonstrations of different knitting techniques, and then we go to different we call them field trips to events across the world. And we've been trying on the Northeast at least to sheep and wool festivals and stitches events and conferences where knitters show up. So
awesome.
We're able to bring folks from around the world to these little events because they live vicariously through us.
It makes a lot of sense. That's I guess why people would watch me drink wine for 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And so you rolled up on me after my speech.
That's right, because you're such a passionate person, and knitters are so passionate about their craft around the world. In fact, I'm so passionate, and I heard your birthday was coming up.
Indeed it is. In theory, it's tomorrow when this airs, but it is Friday. Okay.
But at least
I'm excited. I see green, so I think something cool is going on.
For the big game here.
Yes.
So here's a hat.
Yes.
And a scarf.
I am going to wear it on the show with you right now. Thank you so much. This is awesome.
Well, and one more gift.
There we go.
Since, of course, you're the wine connoisseur.
This is nice.
A wine cozy to match your outfit
We
there.
need to talk about this. I see business opportunities here, Mott. It's getting a little hot in here. This is gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mott, this is cool. Might have to use this for like a surprise kit. Okay, let's put this over there.
And for those knitters out there.
So how long did it take you to make this?
Well, actually, it took about a month. The scarf took longer because it's kind of boring and tedious when you start the green part. But all together,
are you making fun of the color green?
No,
okay,
no,
just
no.
making sure.
I love this color. I
love
this color. In fact, when I posted this on Twitter, everybody was like, "Oh my God, look at that color!" They didn't know it was for you.
This is awesome. Thank you. This is awesome. Okay.
The official color.
This is the official colors. These are our official colors. This is gorgeous. You know what? I'm going to wear this hat at the game.
Absolutely great.
I have great seats, so maybe you didn't see me on TV with the hat. Okay, so
awesome.
I'm going to keep this on even though I'm sweating. Okay, now, so how about wine? What is your wine world? Are you a noob, or do you drink wine? It's funny. When we thought about doing this knitting wine show, I always thought that, when I think of knitting, it's casual kind of. It seems very chill, zen, like. My mom used to knit when we first came to America, and that's how she sold some sweaters. That's how we made some money early on. Then the only other time knitting really hit my radar is, ironically, Eric Kastner, who was the original cameraman of Wine Library TV. Mott and him have a huge feud. Don't even bring up his name. Who really is the lead developer here at Wine Library, who really was a pioneer in getting me into Wine Library TV by showing me other video casts. He got really into it, and he's one of those kind of passionate characters.
Oh, cool.
And so it seems like a very small. Is it a small niche? How big of the niche is the knitting community out there? At least online, where you can kind of figure it out.
Well, I'll start with in the world, but they've come up with statistics that say 1/3 of North American women and men crochet or knit, which is a huge number when you think about it.
Yeah, that makes drinking wine like, peon. That sounds
Yeah.
that's a huge number.
And a lot of them have been active as bloggers online since the 2000, 2001, which was how I got started, really getting engaged.
Is that
with
when
the
you got
online
into
community.
it?
Well, it was when I got more excited and passionate about it because I started blogging, and other people were like, "Ooh, that's cool," and I would get on.
You like that feeling when people said something was cool?
Yeah, that every knitter,
Sure.
crocheter loves show and tell. Show off what you've done and get.
Every
ooh,
person, I think,
yeah.
likes a little Mott. You
Yeah.
should see when the fans go crazy for him. He acts like he hates it, loves it. So I was thinking about what wine could go well with, the knitters out there who, casual. And what came to mind was very clean, crisp, simple white wines. And so that kind of led me to a Sauvignon Blanc idea. I've been dying to do Sauvignon Blanc from Chile, New Zealand, and California.
Okay.
Because Chilean Sauvignon Blanc is something that's been really exciting me lately. New Zealand is really the hot upstart. And then California's a category that I actually diss quite a bit and have a lot of fans out there that want to throw down and be upset with me about that. So I've got 3 Sauvignon Blancs here, all in that $10 to $12 price range to go along with the gorgeous ware that I have here. Tell me this, what about your personal wine drinking experience? Are you a big wine drinker? Do you not like wine? Where are you at?
I drink wine every night when I come home from work, and I sip.
Like you
wine.
pound it because you've had a hard day? Okay.
No. In fact, I got involved in these wine clubs recently to try to experiment. I didn't learn much about what was a good wine or what wasn't. I just said, well, I like that, and I put that on my like list so I would get that again in the future. But of course, I've been drinking since I was young. I've come up from an
13
Italian,
or
Italian Greek households. We drink a lot.
So wine has always been a part of growing up.
Always.
Awesome. Let's get into the first wine. Cat. This is the Glazebrook 2007 Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. 13.5 alcohol content. And it is 88 points Jay Miller, who is reviewing these wines for Robert Parker's Wine Advocate. It rolls in at $11 US. I listened to the Vaniacs out there, and we've given you the actual official spit bucket for yourself. I've got the helmet spit bucket. It is all jetsed out. I'd like everybody to take a moment of silence right now and pray for the Jets today. This is a huge game, considering that it's my anniversary.
Wow.
Today, Thursday. We should give a huge shout out to my wife Elizabeth, who is clearly one of the greatest human beings of all time, that she would spend her anniversary at Foxborough at a football game. That's pretty big time.
That's
Kat,
quite
would
a
you do
lady.
that?
Absolutely.
Well, then you're awesome. And then tomorrow is my birthday, so anniversary and then birthday.
Double whammy.
Mott, if the Jets lose this game, that would be devastating. I mean, they would just crush me on these very special days.
Oh, I'm cheering for it.
All right, so let's get into this. New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs. Have you had any?
No, not this one.
Okay, have you ever had New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc at all?
Yes.
Okay, this is from Marlborough, which is really popular. It's really the area where we're seeing a lot of great Sauvignon Blanc come from. It's in the price point that a lot of people are buying New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs at. It's screw top, like almost all of them these days, which is fine. We talked about that at length. And what's really exciting about New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc and what has made them extremely popular in the U.S. is they're extremely aromatic. So let's give it a sniffy sniff first.
Fruity.
You like it?
Apples.
Yeah, I get a lot of grassiness. Are you getting any grass?
Yeah.
To me, I'm getting a lot of grass. There's some sugarcane components coming through, and there's also like a grapefruit juice
Yeah,
thing.
I smell the juice, yeah.
You smell that? That's like really, to me, the big component of this wine, which is quite nice. So almost like taking a cut of grass, grabbing a grapefruit, cutting it in half, squeezing it on top, taking it, and then smelling it. That's what this smells like to me.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, let's give it a whirl. Now, Kat, I did not make any of these wines. I am not emotionally attached to them. If you hate it with every ounce of your soul, it is okay with me. What do you think of this wine?
Well, it has a really strong finish on it, which I was surprised about.
So, very high acid on the back end.
Yes, yes.
And now, it's not chilled, so you're going to taste a little more alcohol than if it was in, a fridge or something of that nature. Are you tasting a little of that alcohol?
Yeah, I am.
Is that
for
bothering
sure.
you, Kat?
No, actually, I
You're
kinda
enjoying
like it
the
like
alcohol.
That. Yeah.
I knew I liked her. Okay,
Oh, it's
so
so warm.
well, me too. So, are you liking this wine? Is it good? You enjoy it? Where are you at?
I would probably like this with some cheese because it really has a sort of strong, powerful palate to it.
Kat is doing a very good job here. I agree with this factor. This wine is very high in acid, which makes it very food friendly. That's what we look for in white wines. This is pretty good balance. I think there's a lot of upfront sugarcane fruitness, which is really nice. And then you get Acid City, USA. And anybody that's really into wine, especially the real wine connoisseurs, is why I think so many people get addicted to Riesling. We're addicted to acid, Kat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to understand this about wine triggers. And it's a really fundamental aspect of white wines that we look for, because a lot of times white wines can be very flabby and fruit-driven and not have that balance of acid. To me, this is a pretty strong balance of acid. Though it's a two-part series,
Yep.
fruit and then acid, it's still kind of equaling out. I'd like to see it a little bit more integrated, but I think it's pretty solid. Let's give it one more shot. There's almost a kiwi-like fruit thing going on in the mid-palate, which I like quite a bit. It's a little sugar-fied on the mid-palate for me, but it's still quite strong. I kind of like this. How about you?
Yeah, it's nice. I like it a lot, actually.
You can drink this.
Yeah, in fact, 'cause I usually drink more red wines than white, and I really like the sort of the bite to this. It's
Yeah,
a
I
nice bite.
think it's got some good freshness. To me, I think Miller did a pretty good job. I'd probably go 87 points on this, probably because I want to give a big shout out to Lavernius Coles. Lavernius, big day today. Please catch some balls. But I think it's an 87 point type wine. Good fruit, good balance, 11 bones. You know, I don't think it's a screaming value. Oh my God, Kat, let's hold hands and run to the store and buy cases. However, I think it's a good, solid value. It's not trying to be too much. It's just good, solid. New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc reminds me a lot of Babbage or King Crawford, some of the brands you've seen out there. So, good start, solid start. Let's pour this out. All right, let's give this a rinse. And now we're moving on to the Simi. Let's give it a rinse and then rinse it all around. Good, perfect. And let's dump it. Now, just curious, back to one in every three people. I'm just kind of fascinated by that. When you go to some of these live events, are there big turnouts?
Oh my gosh, we were just at the New York State Sheep and Wolf Festival in Rhinebeck, New York, and there was more than 10,000 people there. They come out from all over, not just from New York, so people from Texas and Toronto and so forth.
Passion.
And it was awesome. They are, you know, and they
And
don't
did anybody
they never leave empty-handed, Gary. They fill up the car, go back, and fill up the car and go back.
What are they buying? Like materials?
Yarns
Yeah.
and patterns and fiber for spinning and accessories for
Were you
knitting.
interviewing people there?
We totally did.
That's
In fact,
awesome.
we have 7 hours worth of footage for that.
7 hours. That's some serious work.
We do multiple shows out of those events because there's such great stuff.
Now, I have
there.
a very important question to you. 10,000 people, you said?
Yeah.
Did anybody have a wine stand there?
Yes, in fact, that was one of the
Damn it,
things
that was
I
going to be
wanted
my
to
angle.
share
Mott, I
with
thought
you.
we had something.
They actually have an entire section put aside for cheese and wine, local wineries.
Was there anybody really good looking and charismatic behind the wine stand?
I wouldn't have known. I was too busy sipping the wines.
Working. You weren't drinking the wine. Fair enough. All right, let's get into the next wine. Simi, 2007 Sonoma County Sauvignon Blanc, 13.5 alcohol. Also $11 US. This is one of the big brands in California. You know, their Chardonnay and Cabernet sells like water. Their Sauvignon Blanc is also very popular. This is the top 5 selling Sauvignon Blanc from California at Wine Library for like the last 10 years. Popular City, USA. What's the matter, Mott? Oh, bad angle for the bottle. Thank you, Mott, for saving me, because otherwise there have been 10 comments of what a jerk I am. Let's give this a sniffy sniff. Let's see what we get.
Seems lighter,
Agreed.
not as fruity,
Agreed.
kind of flat.
Agreed. Okay, you want to take over? I mean, I agree. I think it's aromatically challenged. We always are upset when a wine goes AC on us. I do get a little fig component on the nose, which I think is kind of neat. I love figs, and I think it's a nice little fruity kind of like apple pear
pear.
and fig thing going on,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of neat.
I like the pear.
Yeah, I think the pear's coming through quite a bit, but it's
Yeah.
definitely not as aromatically exciting. It's not popping out of the glass. It's more subtle, and you know, it's fine. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I actually think the fig is quite attractive on the nose. I like it. All right,
Definitely.
let's give it a whirl.
Oh, that's crisp and light.
It is very light. It's almost like we didn't drink anything. I feel like I drank a water with a shot of vodka in it.
With a little finish,
Like 80% water and like a dip of pop-off vodka from a plastic bottle.
Really light.
Do you like this?
I wouldn't tend to drink something like this, no.
It's too light for you.
I hardly taste the wine, yeah.
We'll just give it one more shot. I'm going to agree with Kat here. This wine is very subtle, which is fine. But if I'm going to pay $11 for a bottle of wine, at some level I want to feel like I'm drinking wine.
You want to taste it.
Yeah. Cat's getting feisty. I think it's off balance. There's more heat on this wine on the back end, but unlike the last wine where the fruit allowed you to kind of say, okay, well, at least I'm getting this with this, this wine is relegated to like very light, watered down apple juice with a shot of vodka. It's a poor effort, in my opinion, and a complete waste of your time. I would stay away from it like the plague. I'm probably going to score this wine 64 points. Wow. I think this is a really poor effort. This is kind of reminding me of the feelings I have towards New England Patriots. Maybe that's giving you an indication of how weak this effort is. Now, I have a major bias towards California's Sauvignon Blancs. I tend to not being that biased on wines at all, but this is, again, we tried to pick one that was selling really well respected, and I think it falls pretty flat.
They seem real popular.
They're great. Yeah. Listen, if you love this, God bless you, drink it and enjoy it. To me, this is so light, and the only way I would see somebody really enjoying this is if they really don't like wine in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not that big of a wine fan, you want to drink wine and this kind of just gets you by. It's kind of like just very, very subtle.
It's very social drinkers.
Yeah, I mean, at some level, it's like the people who drink really watered down drinks, right? Like, they go out, they want to get like a drink at the bar, and like, give me a little vodka and a crap load of orange juice. You know, it's kind of that kind of mentality that bothers me with this effort. It really has, to me, it lacks soul. This wine lacks soul. It's not trying to bring any thunder to the plate, and that bothers me, and it's pretty disappointing. It's pretty disappointing. Kat?
Well, I'd drink it if I was nursing a drink for the night.
That's a good point. Nursing. Cat stuff. All right, Lidia. 2006 Sauvignon Blanc. This is from the San Antonio Valley in Chile. $13 US, 90 points. Wine Spectator. A wine that a lot of people have been buying up and a lot of buzz around. We're rinsing. Rinse it all the way. There you go. 90 points Spectator. It's a big-time score mott. You got to like that. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Stylistically, these tend to be more similar to New Zealand than California. Let's see if that's true. One more shot for you, Mott. There you go. Pretty little label. Let's give it some credit for its package. 13 bones. Lucky or unlucky, depending on how you want to look at that number. Today's the 13th. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. You could smell it already. Yeah. I mean, I could smell it from a distance.
Nutty.
Wow. So to me, this is almost like moss. You know, like green moss? Yeah. It smells like a little bit like moss to me, like Moss Man, the He-Man action figure from the 80s. I get a little bit of that action. Do you remember that guy? Yeah. Nice. I also get lime, and I also get a very heavy dose of green peppers coming through, which is really nice. Again, much more aromatic than the last wine. Yeah. Back to the aromatic levels of the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, Glazebrook. I like this.
But still not as fruity.
No, not as fruity in the nose.
Yeah.
Definitely not the kiwi grapefruit. This is more of that moss,
yeah,
green pepper. Do you also get, I do get a little, what is this? Almost like boysenberry. It's a very interestingly distinct berry kind of thing. Maybe a gooseberry. It's kind of nice. I really like the aromatics of this one.
I don't know why. I keep smelling almonds.
Do you get almonds?
Yeah.
I don't get almonds, but you know what? If you get them that distinctly, you're probably picking up on them. I'm picking up on basil. Are you getting any basil?
Yeah, definitely the grassiness.
No question. Let's give it a whirl.
That was the best one.
You like this the best?
Yeah. I tasted fruity after, and the finish rather than from smelling it. And
You know, it's funny. I like this wine. There's a creaminess component to it on the mid palate that I find much more exciting than the last wine. And I almost feel like where that one was grapefruit on grass, this is lime on grass. Put the lime in the grass, you know, that whole thing. Well, that's coconut. But anyway, there's definitely a lime grass component going on here. But I've got to be honest with you, it dips off a little bit on the finish for me. I want to retaste the Glazebrook real quick. Excuse me for 1 second, Ken. Apologize for the reach. Just see this real quick. I just want to compare these two for my own sake. A lot more acid in this wine than the Lidia. I don't know. I think the Lidia is a very nice Chilean Sauvignon Blanc. I'm a big fan of chili. I think it's got more creaminess. It's more structured than the Glazebrook, but it's missing a little something on the finish for me. But for you, it's definitely a better wine, huh?
Yeah.
You want to try the Glazebrook real quick?
This was too light, and then the...
try the Glazebrook one more time.
Okay.
That one right there. Grab that after this one. Just want to see what you think.
Ian, please dial 507. Ian Dorn, please dial 507. Thank you.
Lidia is probably a wine for your Sancerre drinkers out there. It's got a little more creaminess. It's a little more classic, a little more old world, believe it or not. I don't know. It's really a toss-up. To me, this probably has a little bit more balance, and when I taste them right by each other, I get a little bit more seriousness out of the Lidia. But it didn't really crush my palate as much as the Glazebrook. I think they're just
definitely hits you. Yeah.
that very spritzy and exciting. Yeah. Good wine. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed with it. Spectator went 90. I'm going to go 88 plus. I think it's a strong effort. I think it's a nice wine, but it's not a crusher. It's not a no-brainer, you know, out of the park wine. It is not that, and I was kind of hoping, based on the score and based on the return business that we've seen from it, for it to be that. But it's just not doing that for me. How about for you? This was definitely the best one?
I think so. I think the, which one was this?
Glazebrook?
The Glazebrook was a little too strong on the finish.
On the finish.
Yeah.
And the Simi?
Too light, and then this was nice because I like that creamy finish.
You like the bounce of it.
Yeah.
It's a good wine. All right, Sauvignon Blancs. Looks like Chilean, slightly maybe ahead of New Zealand, California below. Again, no hidden agenda. Cat doesn't care. And so, once again, interesting to see. But most of all, very clean, crisp, nice price point, easy drinking white wines that you don't need food with. But I agree with Kat. Love to eat all three of these with cheese. Heck, I'd like to eat poop with cheese. That's how much I like cheese, but that's another story for another day. Kat, it is always customary for the guests to ask the Vaniacs the question of the day. So you get to ask them any question you'd like about anything you'd like. Doesn't even have to be about wine or knitting. It could be about outer space. Fire away.
Aren't you psyched about what's happening in the U.S. today since the election?
You weren't supposed to get political. You, with a little bit of me. Kat, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We're changing the wine world.